1907, art lovers getting bored with the same and old masterpieces of art legends and art collectors, buying more amazing paintings, keeping them for themselves. But in France, a unique art was starting to take place. Masterpieces that would change the world of art of no one would hear predicted. In Paris, an ordinary artist and his friend began to venture into a world ruled by old paintings of legends called Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque. Pablo Picasso, motivated by passion and inquisitiveness, armed with nothing but brushes and paintings, Pablo Picasso and his friend Georges Braque shocked the world from their canvases. Cubism was really different from how art was usually done. Picasso and Braque wanted to break free from how things were usually shown in art. Instead of painting things like they really looked, they broke them down into lots of shapes. Faces, places, and objects all got split up like puzzles. Looking at these paintings, people had to try to figure out how all the pieces fit together. Cubism was all about breaking things apart and doing things differently. They took objects apart, made them simpler, and then put them back together in a jumbled way. This made the paintings look confusing, with lots of shapes and lines going in different directions. But hidden in all this confusion was something important. It showed how we see things in pieces, not all at once. Cubism changed how people thought about art a lot. Instead of sticking to just one way of looking at things, Picasso and Braque started to see things in lots of different ways. They played around with time, space, and shapes, making them all mix together like a dance. It was like they broke reality into pieces, showing there's more to it than meets the eye. But Cubism didn't just come out of nowhere. It was inspired by lots of different things from different cultures. Picasso especially liked African and Iberian art because of their strong shapes and abstract style. This influence made his art feel more powerful and basic. Faces looked like masks, bodies like statues, and it was hard to tell what was art and what was just an object. One big change in Cubism was how they used collage. Picasso and Braque took ordinary stuff from everyday life, like newspaper pieces and bits of cloth, and turned them into beautiful art. They put these materials on their paintings, showing that art could be made from anything, not just paint. This was a bold move, showing that artists could make their own rules, even when the world was changing fast. Not everyone liked Cubism at first. People who were in charge of deciding what art was good didn't like it much. They thought it was disrespectful to the old ways of doing art. But Picasso didn't let that bother him. He kept doing his thing, even when people didn't like it. Eventually, though, more and more people started to see the beauty in Cubism. Artists, critics, and people who collected art found something familiar in its jumbled up shapes, like it mirrored their own confusing lives. Picasso's Cubism shows how powerful new ideas and imagination can be in art. It wasn't just about changing how art looked. It was a big shift in how people thought about art. Cubism wasn't afraid to try new things and think in different ways. It paved the way for other art movements like abstract art and surrealism. Even now, Cubism is a symbol of creativity in a world where people often stick to the same old ideas.